Summertime, summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summertime, summertime. Honey, honey, solen danser, du og jeg.
Just a short note before we start your sun sign astrology weekly forecast here, Aquarius. The note is about that I also make a weekly general collective forecast, which is very important because this tells you about the world at large, the world around you, whereas this sunshine report is about your perspective from where you are receiving the world, your schedule, so to speak. Hey Aquarius, this is your week in many ways because the sun is in your 5th, and I always cherish that because in the 5th house it's about romance and releasing your inner child, happiness, create things, be creative and play with things, and it's more exciting things going on when the sun enters your 5th house of Gemini. At the same time, we know from last week that you have Uranus and Mercury in the 4th house. This is your house of the home life, your family, and it can get emotionally in this house, of course. So it's kind of like you have to feeling into your emotions, getting out of the clouds into the heart of your emotions, and how do you feel about things? Do you want to change? Can you change? Because Uranus is going to make you. So you got to open up to change in your emotional life, family life, and etc. But also maybe even where you live. This is shaking up things and making you more flexible in a way. Maybe you already thought that you found that house you wanted. But now you are realizing that perhaps you aren't settled there, and maybe that is okay as well. So Mercury in your 4th house, planet of communication, movement, is making an opposition to Jupiter in your 10th, and that is your career house. So there's kind of like a light on your career house, a little bit, not necessarily in attention with your home and your emotional life, but it's kind of necessary for you to find a balance between those two. The 4th house is also like your foundation, and if you want this dream of yours, this life that you're dreaming about, are you then willing to take some risks and make a foundational change? Because let's say, for example, if you want to start a life being more in nature, because you want to live in nature, you want to change, move to nature, then you have to move out of the city. Or if you want to expand your services to reach more people through the internet, and you have to upload huge amounts of files every week due to this kind of work that you have, perhaps living in nature, if that's what you're doing now, is where you don't have any good internet connection, is a bad idea. So you have to move to the city. What I'm trying to say is that maybe there can be some things where you are in a certain positions, but you have to move and change your foundation in a way to make it serve the goals that you have. We have Venus in your 6th, and it's opposing Pluto and Saturn in your 12th house. The 12th house is about your dreams, what do you dream about. It's also about, of course, your spirituality and the belief systems. And it's in contract with the life you actually want and are able to manifest physically in 3D. But it's not where you're at right now, exactly. So you're going to have to make some choices that might not be easy for you to make, to like in your day-to-day life, your routines, like in your 6th where Venus is right now, in order for you to make your dreams come true. And Mars is in your sign, so this means Mars is the planet of action, and it's a planet of energy and rash, impulsive behavior, but the energy of doing something, and it's in your identification sign, is in the sign of your identity. So you kind of like have a lot of energy to what you want to do and where you want to move and go to. But again, what about the foundations? Because are you the right place right now? Because you are the person who needs freedom. 2 planets are your rulers. One is in Saturn is in your 12th letting go of things that no longer serve you. And Saturn and Pluto and also Black Lilith, all three are there. So for a long time you've been called upon to look into your spirituality and release and let go of things that are no longer serving you, whether you like it or not. And it can be a hard process. So I know that it hasn't been so easy for you. And your other planet, Uranus, is, as I said, in Taurus, your 4th house. And Uranus tells me about the freedom that you need in your foundation as well. Do you have that freedom? Aquarius, you are all about the group and other people, but you need to feel into, are you the right place, and not only care so much about the other people. Of course, we have the North Node in your 7th house of relationships, so it's also about the others, but it's about how do you feel when you follow your heart. You have to feel into this, and perhaps even with Jupiter over there in Scorpio, in your 10th house, maybe there are some things in your work life and the belief structures you have around, the belief systems you have around the whole image that you're creating and giving to the world needs to be reset, like based upon what you feel inside of your heart. Speak your heart more. You need to speak your heart more. We now have the sun in your 5th. It's all about you focusing upon opening your heart, following it, being more true to yourself, and care for you more, instead of always using all that energy on everyone else and on the group. Who are you? What do you need? If we take a look on this month in general, then until the middle of the month, it was hard for you to kind of like get things started. You didn't really get to act upon the things that you wanted to. Perhaps you were kind of like exhausted. You didn't want to do anything. But you also had some problems with understanding where it was all going. Or also, like, perhaps you even had some trouble with your transport in some way. You could have had some tough arguments with people, etc. There could also have been some sharp confrontations with others word-wise. And you have some unclarified financial speculations around your home and the home situation. Maybe it's the whole, like, as I told you before, the foundation is a problem for you. You have to keep the earth connection and not set your goals too high, less can do it as well. The situation seems to be frustrating and nothing seems to go in the right way. And maybe people close to you may even kind of like put a little distance on you because you're kind of in a bad mood a lot because of the pressure, etc. But then in the middle of the month, something happened and you start acting because Mars goes into your planet a little more than later than the middle of the month. But want to grab the bull by the horns, so to speak, and your day-to-day life and your routines work-wise and the money worries you have had kind of like seem out of sight. Now it's easier for you as we reach this part of the month this week, and your creativity needs to give that space again, because a lot of ideas are coming to you and you try them out because Mars is causing you to act upon, not react, but act upon your ideas. There's also going to be time for playing, to do some sports or dancing, and maybe you need a breath of fresh air in general. So perhaps even on social medias there will be some success to pick up upon. Aquarius is the internet, so this is something for you. And the 24th seems to be a real good day of pushing forward. And these days, if we talk about love, your love life, then it's important for you that it's happening in a traditional way that for you is traditional. So if you, in this part of the month, here in the late part of May, get into contact with potential partners around the 27th, it can be your opposition. you have to count in that maybe it's not someone who is just like you or just what you thought this person was gonna be like. But Aquarius, you're the ones who are helping all the rest of us feeling like we are in a group, and you always make us feel welcome in your house, in your arms, and that's why it's impossible not to love you. The big question is, do you love yourself and give yourself the attention you need from within? Good luck of recreating that foundation of yours. Remember to trust the process. Spirituality, use your meditation, go into that silent, still talk with God, which means no talk at all, just feeling into all there is and let go. Release, release, release. Whenever it feels like you're blocked or a door is locked, release. Don't hold on to that thing that makes you feel blocked. Release it and trust. Replace any complications within you with the feeling of trust. It's all good. Don't follow trends. Follow your heart. Your modern shaman Maria checking out. See you next week. And good luck. Bye.
Summertime, du er min, og jeg er vild med dig. Sommer,